Hey everybody, welcome to the Graveyard. Pooter Smoker. I'm Pooter Smoker, and I have some choice words for Alex Hutchinson.
Hey everybody, Saber7 here, brought to you by the power of the internet. Stole that line. We are the Graveyard Crew podcast. This is episode 11. Tonight, guys, your home for late night gaming. Of course, we are here with our usuals tonight. We all presented by Josh Uar and Pooter Smoker, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's kick this off with something controversial that came out today from one Alex Hutchinson, the Stadia World Director of Google. This individual,
this fucking clown.
Let's just get to the tweet. Get to the tweet.
Okay, I've got the tweet pulled up on my stream right now.
Okay.
Streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried about the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is, streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for content they use. Guys, I have a question for you. When it comes to advertising, were you aware that you were supposed to pay the company you're advertising? Because I wasn't. From my understanding, in a typical sense for advertisement, the company that wants you to advertise them will typically give you a stipend, give you some money, say, hey, plug our product, play our video game. Oh, hold on. Do you want to take a moment and talk about how Dan TDM, a YouTuber, if you're unfamiliar, he's more children's content, so I would understand if you're not. He got paid by Google Stadia to promote the Stadia. A lot of money.
Oh,
by Google.
For those of you who don't know what Stadia is Google's branch out into the, I don't know, what would you call that? Kind of like the on-the-go gaming kind of deal, where you don't need a console, you don't need a computer to play your video games. All you need is one controller and a Google app to play on your TV.
So basically, Amazon's Fire,
or Nvidia's freaking I forget what it's called, but Nvidia does it and does it best. Yeah, the Nvidia
Shield. Apple,
so
Apple TV.
Let's just get this straight. The man who's supposed to be in charge of launching this product that is supposed to compete with the likes of Nvidia right now, who has a very strong firm on the market, just went out and completely trashed one of their main demographics.
The face of gaming for Google. Let's not get it twisted. The face of Google's gaming division.
They trusted him.
This.
They trust him with a very important task.
I love this reply. They're paying an exposure, and he replies, which reminds me, I need you to come to my office next week and do some work for free. It'll look great on your resume. I promise. Come on, Will. And he says, if you're going to sell units on the back of it, and I was going to collect sub-revenue, which is what streaming is, we do it.
So
I will gladly work for free. I will play a video game for free because me playing Call of Duty, for example, might get some child to go buy Call of Duty. Me playing PC Building Simulator last night might get someone, in fact, it did get somebody who had no idea what PC Building Simulator was, but plays Farming Simulator and Trucking Simulator and all the weird sim games. He went out and bought PC Building Simulator. I'm sure that my little contribution of time playing their game, selling a single unit of PC Building Simulator, is worth it to them. They're not contacting me to pay them a license to play their game. Oh, wait, the license that I already paid? The one that I paid when I purchased the fucking video game?
$60? I'm sorry, was that not enough? Nintendo, is that you? So, Josh, what I wanted to touch back with, we were talking about this earlier before the podcast. So, Nintendo is very, 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 very strict on who can stream their games. Now, they don't make you pay to At least I don't think they make you pay. What they do is they make you sign up for a partnership program to be able to stream their games. You can't, like, Peter over here choking on a ghost pepper donut right now. He felt this was the perfect time for that. Anyway, so like if I were to go and say stream freaking Super Mario Odyssey, and it would blow up, you know, like that was the stream that made Saber 7. Nintendo will go and see that stream and have it forcibly removed off of my channel if I had not signed up with their partnership program, and they have to approve you too.
I would not get approved for Nintendo's partnership program.
Neither would
for
I.
example.
Yeah,
I'm a family-friendly streamer.
They want family-friendly.
think I
They
would,
want
yeah.
big. They do not want controversial at all, because it's smart. I'll give them that, because they don't want their titles tied to any type of controversy that, like, say, like PUBG has brought, Call of Duty, or anything like that. They don't want PewDiePie dropping the N-word on freaking Super Mario Odyssey. Let's say that. Or on Rainbow Row on Mario Kart after he drives off the 50th time.
Yeah.
Can we take one quick moment, real quick, and acknowledge the fact that Alex Hutchinson uses art that he conveniently cropped the watermark out of for his Twitter banner. And Jacksepticeye, who made this fan art, says, I find this thinking extremely ironic, considering you have fan art of me, a streamer, as your banner from when I played Savage Planet. You even cropped out the watermark in the banner and haven't given them credit for it anywhere. Very hypocritical. Alex Hutchinson is a Class A clown.
So his whole rant about this is basically about. Well, I don't understand why he's looking at this perspective that streamers are using game companies for growing their entertainment, but fail to recognize the fact that the game developers are more or less using the streamers for free freaking market and advertisement of their games. I mean, think about this. Think about what if Off-World Industries, who just released Squad, had said like, "Hey Shroud, you can stream our games, but you have to pay a licensing fee to stream our games because we're very protective of our product." Shroud would have said F off on that, and it would have not gotten the freaking train of sales that it got after launch when Shroud came and played the game.
Yeah.
So this is a follow-up tweet from him. Amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that creators of content should be allowed to make some of their money from other people using their content for profit. Someone replies, you are proposing a system that would tax streamers to promote your game. It's flawed.
So hold on. I want to pull some numbers real quick.
While you guys pull up those numbers, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background for this guy. This guy has worked on The Sims 2, Spore, Army of Two, The 40th Day, Assassin's Creed 3, Far Cry 4, and Journey to the Savage Planet.
This guy sucks at making video games.
The only games I've played is Assassin's Creed 3 and Far Cry 4, which were okay. 40th Day wasn't as good as the first Army of Two. Sims 2, I never got around to it. Spore and Journey to the Savage Planet.
Sims 2 is good.
Yeah,
okay.
I never got around to play that one. He was just a lead designer. He was not. He was all he was designer, lead designer. The last four.
And someone points out, are we going to ignore the fact that gamers are essentially paying $60 to $70 for a licensing fee to do whatever they want with the game that they buy? Games are products, and as far as I'm aware, when you buy a product, it's yours to do what you want.
Absolutely. So let's just put this in perspective real quick. So Pooter, how much money would you say that, I don't know, let's go with Formal. How much money do you think Formal makes from streaming a match of Call of Duty?
$100. I don't know who Formal is.
Okay.
But that's like, he's, I assume, a big name Call of Duty streamer.
Yeah.
Let's go Tim the Tap Man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. How much do you think Tim the Tap Man makes on one stream of Call of Duty?
$150.
Probably, just if we're just looking at terms of revenue, ad revenue from the stream, and not looking at donations or whatever, like anything like that. Yes, you're probably right. So let's just look back on Call of Duty through the year 2019 as a collective franchise. Call of Duty in 2019. Let me just share the screen for you. At the end of the year. All right, pull this up right here. Call of Duty in 2019 generated $1.1 billion in revenue from their collective titles. So, Alex Hutchinson, do you really think that game dev companies are worried about streamers who will make anywhere from maybe $150 to $1,000 on one stream of their titles, when those streams will help them generate $1.1 billion in yearly revenue? Call of Duty Modern Warfare alone.
I would like to make $1 billion.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare alone through the end of the year 2019. And remember, they only get, that's only like 2 or 3 months. Just 2 or 3 months of sales. Generated $647 million in revenue through the end of 2019. 3 months. 3 months, they generated $647 million.
So, how much am I supposed to be paying this guy to fucking play his game?
He didn't give out any numbers specifically that he wanted us to pay. But the issue is that he's asking us, or rather suggesting, that streamers, need to license or pay additional licensing fees to stream games.
Essentially that.
But the most flawed.
He's saying that.
Part of that.
Go ahead, Peter. Go.
The most flawed part of this idea is these companies literally pay streamers. They pay content creators to advertise their game.
Yeah.
Streaming and content creation, there is a reason that content creators get paid to plug products. Because people listen to content creators for whatever fucking reason. I don't want to be I don't think that my opinions should be followed all the time. Although, if they are followed, by all means, follow my opinions. If I endorse a product, I believe in the product. I'm going to say that. But don't try and put this upon me as a streamer to pay additional money to stream your game.
No.
I'm going to give you a little piece of advice here, Alex. Your games are shit.
Assassin's Creed 3 is not the greatest.
Just playing the game isn't covered by copyright, so they can do that if they want. No, you're absolutely right.
No.
No?
It's fair use, because I provide commentary to the game that I play. Commentary is specifically outlined in fair use law.
Yeah. That's why the
I'm not allowing other people to play the game. I'm not distributing the game for other people to play. I am showing you the game and giving my impressions of the game.
Exactly.
Whether it be ha-ha funny moments or me yelling at kids on Call of Duty, I'm providing something. I'm altering the content to a point where it is my own fair use material.
And plus,
I have effectively paid the license for me to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
My viewers aren't watching me play Call of Duty. My viewers are watching me. It doesn't matter what game I'm playing. I had people watching me build virtual computers last night. Like that, the game doesn't matter. People watch for the streamer, not for the game. Your game is the background for the streamer.
So Leaky Olba also comments saying that it's not transformative, so it's not.
How is it not transformative? Tell me that.
Well, I will say about it too. Also, when it comes to copyright, so I would understand that if you're getting the full experience, say somebody's streaming an episode of freaking Law and Order or something like that. You're at that point kind of pirating it, and that is valid in terms of copyright use. But with video games, you're not getting a full experience watching somebody playing a video game. You're wanting to go and buy that video game from doing that.
I watch streamers when I'm curious about a game.
Yeah.
I'll go watch a streamer I like if they're playing a game I'm interested in.
So he's also...
And it definitely does sway my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
The thinking is flawed. I've already licensed my use of the game. I'm not allowing people to play on my license, my purchase of that game. I'm playing on my purchase of that game.
So Licky also says that it is according to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Which court case is this? Because if we're talking about this, they've already found that they're taxing Twitch streamers if they make a certain amount above, I believe, above $300 in the United States for this. That is a taxable money because this is considered a profit. But it does not cover the fact that it is not a copyrighted game. Well, it is copyrighted, but you're providing commentary, which by law, commentary on any copyrighted item is legal as long as it is commentating on that product. So you can use the product, comment on it, because you are giving an opinion. That's what commentary is. If you're not, then you're just streaming the game. That is literally basically what people who stream those 2-hour fucking videos are. You cannot make a profit off that.
Players are protected under fair use, meaning an individual can broadcast gameplay for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, and research without the need for permission from or payment to the copyright holder.
All right, so I just found this line. It's from Wikipedia, so take it at what you want. It says that the U.S. Copyright Office specifically states that the copyright does not protect the idea for a game, its name or title, or the method or methods for playing it. Nor does copyright protect any idea, system, method, device, or trademark material involved in developing, merchandising, or playing a game.
Yeah. Also,
the big issue that I have is if I was a radio station and I, for whatever reason, wanted to plug Pepsi on my radio station, Pepsi is going to... I don't pay Pepsi to say, hey, drink a Pepsi today. Pepsi would pay me to say, drink a Pepsi today, assuming that all of that deal works out. Like, that there's legal stuff. But, like, I'm effectively giving them free press by playing their game. I am providing criticism. Everything I do while playing a game falls under fair use. So that's the issue that I have with this.
Copyrights and broadcast. Yeah, it's tricky ground, and if it is so that a game dev company could go out and start targeting streamers, which, by the way, would be the dumbest thing for a video game company to do, because you essentially will kill a source of free advertisement that is actually money that you get back because somebody first has to pay for that game to then go and play it and broadcast it to others.
Right.
So wait, Leaky says they can and have. What company has gone at... Wait, are you talking about Nintendo? Yeah, you're talking about Nintendo.
That's the only one I'm aware of.
That's the only one I'm aware of as well.
Nintendo is the only one that does that because they have an image to protect, just like Disney. On the other hand, major game developers rather get free advertisement from gamers to tell people to go play their fucking game.
Well, to be completely fair, in today's market, if Disney, for example, says you can no longer stream Star Wars games, there's going to be a huge percentage of people that no longer buy Star Wars games. There's going to be a huge drop-off because of how many people buy a game at launch because it has Star Wars? Quite a few. Right. How many people buy a game after launch because Jack Frags plays it?
You know, actually, what Leaky brings up and actually has me actually really curious, because I mean, people made a deal about Nintendo having their whole licensing thing and making people apply for a partnership program to stream their content, and to a point that really didn't bother people, and it still worked out in their favor. He's right, Nintendo wins every time on that. And what it is to stop, like, say, like, you know, people are sick and tired of people getting on who have big stream audiences and use their game to, you know, give off like negativity and stuff like that that maybe they don't want represented in their brand. They could easily go and apply and make people apply for that partnership program. And
So I'm gonna say this: the first company that does that outside of Nintendo, because no matter how you cut it, Nintendo has an image to protect as far as children. Children are interested in Nintendo games
Right.
more than adults.
right, you're right, you're absolutely right on that.
That's their target audience. I don't stream Nintendo. I have no interest in streaming Nintendo because I play those games. I lay in my bed and play Super Mario 3D All Stars. I've been playing that recently. I love those games, but I'm not going to go out and do that.
So
I'm not going to. Go ahead.
Sorry. So Leaky says that they can even charge you also, and you know now in Leaky you have opened my mind up, you know, quite a bit. You've informed me a lot more about this, and you know it's basically people. It's comes down to eventually if developing companies will follow Nintendo in doing this, and the question is. And the whole question started is with when Alex Hutchinson goes out and makes this tweet, and it is something that a company can do, but is it something that they should do?
The first company that does it outside of Nintendo is going to see the wrath of the community. The gaming community, the content creation community, they are going to take a huge financial impact because I don't know about you, but it's not that I'm lazy, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go ahead and say, "Hey guys, let's go sign up so I can play EA's video games."
Now you see the company.
I don't like EA.
No, yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
like any developer enough to say, you know what, I'm going to sign this contract so that I can play their games.
Yeah. And they can also, you know, game dev companies, because like say they can look at it like in terms of eliminating bad press for their game. They can look at it as a way to protect their brand. I mean, if there's a company out there that would do this, it's gonna be Disney, to protect their Marvel titles, to protect their Star Wars titles. You know, if there's a company that would go out and do this, it would be Disney.
I agree. I'm curious to say Leaky. Oh my god, I just noticed what his name is.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what his cited example is.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see your example. Give me an example.
Ooh, about fair use or
No, he's gonna give an example of the scope that a game company has with its copyright.
you can go that. I mean, I read a paper. He is right,
He is right. He's absolutely 100% right.
but if a game company goes and allows their games to be, what's the word here? I was reading it. To create exclusive market, it was open something. They can allow gamers to use it. A lot of game companies do this. One of them not being a Nintendo. Infringement game companies. Fucking just read this. Give me a second. I'm just reading. Ugh. I can't find it. I just read it.
But this Hutchinson tweet, as ridiculous as it sounds, and now we're talking about it, it says something that is in the realm of possibility of certain game dev companies possibly doing. I don't know in terms of making them pay a licensing fee, but more or less, applying to be a partnership program with their stuff. Okay, look at mods. Bethesda Works tried selling modders. Content without reimbursement. They can totally do that, and it hurt them. They changed and keep trying to do it in one form or another. It is their content, even that though it could be argued that it is transformative.
It is transformative. They have to. It depends on the license. How they gave the license. It was open source license is what I read. Which most major game companies do now, especially big modding ones. If they have that, anyone can stream their content as long as it's in good faith. So let's say us as streamers, if we talk down on the game, we call it bullshit and trash or whatever, then they while playing the game, then they can have that content removed under copyright use because it goes negatively against their game. But if if they don't use that fair use play, they cannot censor our game or gameplay of it because it's talking positively. They only want to cover positive for their game. So if someone's talking trash about it and it's a big public audience, then they will take it down. But that's it. There's no other legal ramifications of it. They cannot or they can revoke your license, which basically they just cancel your game license. That's it. That's all you lose. There's nothing else. They cannot charge you to play that game. Well, they already did, but they can't charge you anymore.
Well, and that's the thing I'm getting at. Is sure, under fair use, they could say that what I'm doing is wrong, which in some instances it may be. Like if I go in and play Call of Duty, which I don't like, and talk shit about Call of Duty the whole time, which I do, it's realistic that they could take away my ability to stream Call of Duty. I don't agree with that. I think that that's a silencing of the press in some way. It's a private industry. They can do whatever they want with that. But I'm not saying I'm a member of the press. I'm not like an officiated member of the press. I don't think I don't know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that a game that's a huge overstep and a huge misunderstanding of the community that is being marketed to.
Well, that goes against our First Amendment, our freedom of speech. So
our freedom of speech doesn't apply on Facebook or Twitter because it's a private industry.
Private industry, it doesn't matter.
But for gaming, it's finicky. We're not talking about.
It's not.
People.
It's all private, dude. It's all private. Everything.
It's all private. My freedom of speech does not apply to a video game.
Doesn't matter to Twitch.
My freedom of speech doesn't apply on Twitch. Yeah. I can't say on Twitch that I want to go.
You gave it up when you signed up. Yeah.
So but just for kicks and giggles, Blizzard and Activision could go to Twitch right now and say hey, we will sponsor you guys, pay you guys, whatever, but you cannot allow people on your platform to talk badly about our game. They could easily go and do that, and Twitch could and would oblige to it.
I'm very curious because you said he's a lawyer. Which law do you do? Do you do criminal law? Do you do civil law? Do you
so hold on. So as a lawyer, I will say this: they not only own, but they only give you limited control over the use of the software. So although you do not like it, the laws are very clear on that.
Yeah,
but the same argument could be made that it's open use copyright. I mean, it is transformative content. That is a fair use copyright.
Just say he does copyright law.
If I'm just playing the game, how is it not? Explain to me how it's not. Because if I am just playing the game, no camera, no audio, nothing but the game, I can somewhat understand that I'm distributing that game freely. But I am providing commentary to the game. From my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, from my understanding, copyright is the copyright. I'm protected under copyright law for fair use.
It's a very interesting topic. I'm very curious on how it is. I'll give you time to chat it, or if not, you can always come and join us on the conversation.
Yeah, seriously, at this point, I just love to get your thoughts on it. Even more.
Especially since you say that you are a lawyer.
I would actually love to have him on here if he's willing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, if he's willing. Yeah, because now I'm more curious about how copyright works. Now, because that just blows our bubble on what it is.
You're not transforming the game in any manner. You're only adding to it, so it's not protected under copyright. Are we still talking about modding? Are we still what are we talking about at this point?
In the context,
you're talking about that you're adding on to the game. Are you talking about broadcasting entertainment, or are you talking about the modding? Because I know as a streamer. So you're adding to the entertainment value of the game. Is that what it is? You're not transforming anything about the game. You're just adding entertainment value. But what if you what if you create entertainment out of it outside of the intended use of the game? Is that then at that point transformative? Like, say somebody in a Call of Duty lobby playing Michael Myers.
I'll read this whole thing then. Let's see how this goes. If you like to join our conversation, so you have a little bit more fill in, see if you want to read. They're just waiting for us to respond. You can join our Discord, and you can hear your 2 cents or your legal mind on it. Poopy Longbottom.
Because like I feel like at that point then you're creating entertainment outside of what the game was intended for, so they can't hit you with that copyright strike. You're creating original content at that point. But then do they hit you with the copyright for using their game to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you
Maybe
joined.
it's the.
Yeah, I think you.
Well, I think it's McPoopy.
if you go to
We have a hidden chat. If you go to
So
any,
just join any of them. We'll move you in.
just
just move into an empty one if you need to.
you add skeletons. Yes, you did. Perfect. Yeah, just move into like fun games, rhythm. It doesn't matter. We'll drag you in. We're in a private chat.
Yeah, I'm moving right now. Move to podcast. Hello.
All right, hello, sir. How are you doing?
What's up? Okay, so transformative when it comes to software is very indicative to the libraries that you're using and manipulating. As a streamer, what you're actually lacking as a transformative method is you're not adding anything into the game. So say a modder was to mod a game. They could argue that they transformed it, but they have to transform enough of it, which is, according to the laws, anywhere, depending on each state, is anywhere from 25 to 50% of the game. So they have to change a certain amount for it to be considered transformative. Unfortunate for streamers and YouTubers, gaming companies have the right to go, yeah, you can't touch our software. You can't stream it. You're not allowed to. That's the laws that we currently have in place because you are not transforming it enough. But most gaming companies have learned that that's stupid to do, so they don't enforce it. If they start enforcing it, then we have a huge problem because streamers will have the stance of we have precedents that we were allowed to do this in the past, and they could fight that. They might not win because of the way the laws are written, but it really depends on the state that you're in.
And you bring up a great point about that too, especially with Nintendo. Like I was telling, I don't know if you heard me say it earlier, but a company I would see doing that is just Disney, to protect their Marvel titles, to protect their Star Wars titles from, bad press, because as Pooter mentioned, Nintendo's intended for the child audience base, and so far to this point, most Star Wars and Marvel titles were targeted to the child to teenage audience.
And Nintendo only made that as a way to negate the negative press that they were getting. So they didn't have to do that. They could still have gone on and said, nope, you can't do it. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because it is their product.
Okay.
That is true.
That is
I mean, we don't own the license itself. We only buy a piece of it.
Well, you don't own it, period, because of how they license it out. They at any point can terminate that license. So it's a limited license. So all these people who are like, oh, I'm going to sue them. You don't have really a leg to stand on. The most you're going to get back when you sue is going to be the cost of that game.
Well, no, and that makes sense, I suppose. I guess my understanding, and my lawyer doesn't specialize in copyright law, but I spoke with my personal lawyer regarding this when I started streaming. To what extent can I stream just to cover myself? Just to have every base covered in his understanding and my understanding through him. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I've just consulted legal counsel.
I'm not giving any legal advice, okay?
No, of course. I'm not asking. I'm not asking for legal advice. I'm not asking for that. I'm letting you know my understanding that what I do is transformative in the way of Let's Plays. And you're right, a game company can take away my ability to do that. My argument isn't necessarily that I'm going to... My argument isn't... I think that I'm on the same page as you. I'm just upset that Google's head of Stadia would be so fucking daft to not understand the market that he's trying to get.
You gotta understand, Google is all about money. They've always been all about money.
No, without a doubt, they're all about money. But they also paid tons of money to streamers and content creators to promote Stadia and play Stadia.
Yeah, but they select those that they do that too. So, and they're well within that right to do. And Twitch is a platform built on that. And if they went that route, Twitch would dry up instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it would tick off a big portion of the streaming community. But here's the part that I had a problem with. And this is me saying that you're daft. Because, and not in a bad way.
No, I
don't know much about
this. Is right.
To assume that even if they did that, that it would affect them in any way. It would be negative press, but they were able to sell games long before streamers came along, and they will still be able to do it even when streamers are gone.
Yeah,
because it is a product that people want to consume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the part that I was like, they're going to tick off streamers. They're not necessarily going to tick off the viewers.
But I would say that a big part of the market, and not the entirety of the market, but a big part of the market of people's decisions when buying video games is the opinion of a content creator they like. And I even said I don't think people should listen to my opinions about video games. Like, my opinions are stupid. My tweet when I tweeted out the podcast is that I'm a rambling idiot. Like, come listen to me ramble. So
my biggest thing was that you were misinterpreting the laws, and I was trying to be clear about them without diving into case by case study, because Nintendo's set a lot of precedents in the United States and in Canada and over in the UK on copyright laws, and they fought them tooth and nail all the way and won every single case. And I was just trying to make it clear that you don't own that content in any way, and the cases that they've won, it's very clear you're not transforming that game in any way. The game would be the same regardless of whether you stream it or not. Your content wouldn't change if you went and did it on a different game. And that's what their argument would be. You're not transforming anything. You're actually stealing their content to make your own.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point.
Then that goes against fair use. That makes a lot of sense.
And that's why they would win every single time.
Damn.
And I wanted to make that very clear, because a lot of people are under this misconception. Oh, I'm allowed to do. No, they allow you to do it. They can take it away anytime. What you're doing is stealing their content. They're allowing you to do that for now. But game companies are always about how to make money. Eventually, they're going to come after it and charge streamers for doing it. If they could have got away with it 5 years ago, they would have done it. And I use Bethesda as an example. Bethesda has constantly tried to take advantage of the modding community and make money off of them. And even has gone as far as taking mods that other creators have made and just tried to sell it outright. They're well within their rights to do that, and there was nothing anybody could do to stop it except for complain an awful lot.
I think the biggest, most solid example of that, and it also goes back to, it also ties in with Bethesda, is when Bethesda acquired Doom. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a 8-bit Doom game that existed that was that wasn't even made by the original dev team of Doom. It was made by a indie developer, but I think it was because the Doom license was kind of like really open and free to use, and he used it and used the title and associated Doom, and then when Bethesda acquired it, Bethesda shut the game down.
Yep, and they're full within their rights.
No, and that definitely is within their rights.
Yeah. Wow. I just kind of had a harsh realization.
I guess my argument. No, I guess my argument. I'm coming from a place of passion rather than a place of logic with my argument.
Which I totally understand, and I'm actually on your side when it comes to streamers should be allowed to do it because gaming companies have set that precedence. No,
they definitely have, and I guess I was coming across rash and stupid. Hold on, I was coming across rash and stupid because it's
stupid. I would say ignorant.
Well, yes, ignorant would be the better word, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I was trying to make you understand the laws.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that, definitely.
That's something that I think a lot of people that stream should be aware of the laws.
Well, and that was my thing. My lawyer even told me he's no expert on this, and he gave me his limited knowledge. I probably should consult someone that knows a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Just on a legal counsel aspect
I get approached all the time by YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and stuff like that, and that's the advice I give them: is you don't own that. You don't own any of that content. All you're doing is adding to it, and they can shut it down anytime, and they can sue you for doing it, and they will win. So
I'm sure
streaming is a risk. It's not a very big risk at this current point, and if they did go after a streamer like that, they probably would.
The backlash that follows.
Yeah, they would bankrupt their company.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't be smart for a company to do it, but it's full within their right to do it.
Okay.
Damn, that is the harshest realization I've had as a up and coming streamer. Oh.
Well, and for me, I understand the risk. Like that's a reason I spoke with a lawyer regarding any of this before I started doing it, because I have assets that I have to protect. Like right. I have an LLC for my stream. Like I'm protected under an LLC for the stream.
The advice I would give you is definitely get a copyright lawyer, and talk to them. They're going to be very clear with you and very blunt, and they'll give you legal advice on ways that you can protect yourself. And honestly, the only way you can protect yourself is to do streams like you're doing right now, because then they can't come after you. If you're not using any of their content, you can talk about it all you want. They cannot do anything about it.
Okay.
So, but if I pull up a YouTube video of the game trailer, for example, am I allowed to do that?
No, you're not.
Whew.
Unless you're giving commentary on that trailer specifically.
So we're not like talking like into detail about that. We're just giving commentary on what is shown.
Yeah, you can show the video. You can, as long as you're giving a critique of it, you're allowed to do that.
Well, okay. Right. So I'm not going to pull up a game trailer just to show a game trailer. Like I'm going to pull it up and talk about it.
One of the things that can protect you while you're streaming is if while you're playing, you're critiquing the game while you're playing. That can protect you to a certain extent.
So but if I stream these
pull it down at any time.
Got it.
But it would give you a means to fight back. You can argue that I was giving commentary on your game.
A harsh criticism. So, like,
if I'm questioning like problems with the game, how gameplay is working, or something like that.
That you can absolutely do. They cannot stop you from doing that. They can try, and they probably will shut you down, and they probably will drain a lot of money out of you, because gaming companies have vast resources. They people like me come after you, and we will take every cent you have. Unfortunately.
Jeez.
Huh. I forget how.
Yeah, I don't have EA levels of money, so
yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm going to be the first to roll over and die when they do
that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
My biggest thing is that you really should consult a copyright lawyer. A regular lawyer, they're going to say it could fall under fair use, but a copyright lawyer is going to tell you it does not fall under fair use.
Interesting.
Because unless you're giving commentary about the game, you're not allowed to just sit there and chit chat in a game and call that transformative. It's not.
Well, yeah, I suppose. No, and I get that. When I'm playing a game, I do talk a lot about the game I'm playing. It's not just
you're somewhat protected.
Well, and that's my thing. Like, I make it a point to regularly comment on the state of the game, the issues that I have, the things I like, that kind of stuff. Like, I try and make my content as much about. It just depends on the game. Granted, sometimes I'll play
give you some amount of protection. Some. It doesn't. It's not a lot though. I mean, it's still their content.
Well, and that is the truth.
What's up, Mac?
Still their content.
It gives you a little bit of leeway. It's not a lot, but they can shut you down if you have 5 minutes where you're just sitting there joking with your friends or whatever. They can be like, that's not transformative, that's not critiquing, that's them messing around. I want it gone. And they would win.
Jeez.
That's very interesting, actually.
It's a scary thought, but it's also in the realm kind of like not a possibility of happening because it would destroy their brand.
Yes, it would destroy their brand, and it'd be dumb of a company to do that.
But it is a realistic possibility
coming that streamers are going to have to pay for the right to do that, because game companies hate right now that YouTube controls the fate of their game, and they've been trying to control it for a long time. And you can, I get my biggest influxes for people coming to me is always when a game gets released. Oh, they took my video down. They took my video down. They did this. They hit me with a copyright strike. Now they're suing me. I've had many people that have been sued, and not only had their videos taken down. So I get a big influx every time a game comes out. And I look at them and say, "You're done. You can't fight that. You're doing something illegal, and it's well within their rights to do what they're doing to you. So take it. Shut up. It's pretty much my advice."
So do those type of court cases ever reach like a settlement or something like that, where they don't just just take everything from the streamer?
Most of the time, the gaming companies will go, just take it down and we're fine. And that's the majority of the time. There have been instances where they pretty much took a home from somebody and wiped out all their bank accounts and just totally annihilated any future that they have for working. I mean, they take like 37% of everything they make. Jeez. So I mean, they literally,
my gosh,
destroyed.
Well, and that's something that I was aware of when I started streaming, and that's something that does concern me.
But that was an extreme case, and what the guy did was very distasteful and illegal.
Okay.
And it wasn't just the streaming portion of the game. He was doing something quite illegal in the game too, that fell under other statutes.
Oh,
and they took the opportunity to go after him and take everything.
I feel like
do you know what type of case this is, so we could look it up on our free time?
I don't remember the case right offhand. It was one that I read like 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
So basically what Alex Hutchinson should have said was that you guys do realize that gaming companies at any point can just turn around and start charging you for a license and it'd be completely legal. Instead of just saying...
In order for you to get the game, you have to pay for a license. And then they can say, well, this license doesn't cover broadcasting. They'll put that in the license. I guarantee you that will be put into the license if they decide to start charging for it. So then you have to now buy the broadcasting license. And it's well within their rights to do that. They can do that. Yeah. It's their product.
Yeah, no, it's 100% true. I mean, people's backlash to it, and I can see why Alex Hutchinson is still pretty stand on it, because what he says is true. But at the same time, it's assuring to see that Google also separated themselves from that and said that we don't agree what he said with that. So that's a good sign from Google. And like you said before, it'd be stupid if any game dev company to start attacking content creators like that.
Right now, I mean, like I said, they're very greedy, and I wouldn't put it past like EA to start doing that. I wouldn't put
No,
it past.
I wouldn't put it past
I wouldn't-
EA or Take-Two or.
Bethesda, I definitely wouldn't put it past them.
Well, it's not Microsoft, isn't it?
Well, ZeniMax.
Microsoft is actually pretty generous to.
Well, Microsoft now owns ZeniMax and all of their properties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They bought out Bethesda.
So no, they bought out ZeniMax.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, so like I don't see that happening, but he is right, and I will be the first to say I was speaking from a place of ignorant passion.
Mm-hmm.
When I was upset about this. I'm still going to be upset about it. That's stupid. They shouldn't.
I'm upset about it too. I don't think it's going to be good for the streaming industry. It's not going to be good for my entertainment, because that's how I get most of my entertainment. I normally don't get up on streams, by the way, but
I appreciate it.
We do appreciate you hopping in here.
Long replies.
Yeah,
We do appreciate your time. This is
and-
informative for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely informative. Like, it definitely changes my whole perspective as a streamer as well, and as a content creator in general. So, wow.
It doesn't change my opinion and how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I think that this is ridiculous. If a game company decided to do it,
And
it would be bad for their brand.
Yeah.
It would at least be bad for the brand of the first company to do it, in my opinion.
And thanks for the follow, brother.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just realized I didn't do it before I came in, so I was
You're
like,
good.
I better do that.
and,
You're good.
and if I may ask, how long have you been practicing?
What, 27 years?
Okay,
Okay,
so,
so
he's a
you
pro.
know-
He knows it.
You know a thing or two.
Yeah.
I was honestly when you joined, I was expecting some kid who's gonna try and talk in a deep voice and like yeah.
Well, that's just some luck hopping in here.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
no, and that's cool that he did.
That's- Yeah,
Well, I mean, I put my mouth. I put my money where my mouth is. I mean, you guys
Look.
call me up, I will come up and explain to you the laws.
and
Oh, yeah.
I think you.
I'm glad you
thank
did.
I'm gonna-
You definitely, enlighten all of us with that, because we were coming in like full blast ready to just absolutely roast everyone, piss off Alex Hutchinson. But in reality, he's somewhat speaking truth to the fact of the matter that, yeah, a game dev company could just easily go and just make it impossible for you to stream a game.
No, they definitely could, and
criticize
the
it the entire time.
they definitely can. I actually am going to shoot you a direct message, and I'll pay for your consult. I want to speak with you about this off stream,
Yeah. Okay.
if possible.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Because this is something that concerns me. This is
Yeah,
something. This is a very real possibility in our industry. And
Yeah,
I need to do what I
I'll
can to
have a few
protect
questions
myself.
before I can. I'll have a few questions for you before I could even say, because I only practice in 3 states. So
I'm in
I-
California. I'll just.
okay. California's a lovely state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
yeah, lovely,
Uh,
lovely.
When it
Yeah.
comes to law, I kind of stay away from practicing there. So
I understand.
my advice would be find some lawyer there that knows the laws, because California has some vastly different laws than the rest of the country. And I can tell you New York, I can tell you Illinois, and I can tell you Miami. I can tell you the laws there and how they play out. And mostly that's where a lot of the studios end up being. So I end up doing a lot of stuff on that. So
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Ah,
well,
like,
I gotta-
our freaking toot has changed absolutely on this.
No, I still fucking hate
I
Alex.
still
Hutchinson.
that guy's a fucking clown.
I will say this, because you're in California, you do have certain protections that you don't have with other states.
What about
So-
Nevada?
You definitely should talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
because there are civil actions that you can take against the gaming company if they come after you. So I would definitely talk to a copyright lawyer in California.
Okay, and that's honestly something I know I should have done. I just was like, oh, this guy, he's been good to me so far. Might as well just take his advice. Like,
Yeah. When it comes to specialty laws, you really need to find somebody that's in the midst of it on a regular basis if you want to understand what's actually going on there. And California definitely has some unique laws that protect gamers. Not necessarily streamers, but I think that they have some very unique broadcasting laws. So I would talk to a copyright lawyer there because they'll have a better understanding about how those laws work than I would.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
and I appreciate that insight.
Yes. So,
But I can answer questions and stuff like that. Can I give you legal advice? Because
as long as they're offering.
Yeah, I'll take it.
but
Well,
yeah,
No, I appreciate.
it's a very humbling thing when you find out, oh crap, I really don't have a leg to stand on, and it kills the argument right then and there, unfortunately.
No, it definitely does. My feelings towards Alex Hutchinson and the fact that my feelings, I'm very passionate about this as a content creator, as a streamer. My feelings towards Alex Hutchinson, towards the face of Google Stadia Gaming, saying something that fucking asinine, like it just shows that he doesn't understand.
Well, the majority of
The
people,
market.
they don't stream.
No, you're right. The majority of people do not stream.
Right.
But the fact that they pay streamers and content creators to promote, like it's just, I don't know, it's a little hypocritical. He's using someone else's art without giving them credit. Like it's just, there's a lot going on with him. I
They would
disagree with
argue
him.
that because you're adding on to their content, it's actually their content. That would be the argument. And in any other state, I would say that they would win. California might be a little bit different, but
Huh.
What about Nevada?
I know.
Nevada is so fucking anti-consumer.
Yeah.
Man, actually, after talking about this, I would almost feel more comfortable if games would just like roll out an easy like content creation and partnership program or something. Just that's like a quick sign that like kind of like protects the gamer, the streamer, and the content creator. And because like that because the fact that they can do that, it would just feel more better if there would be some type of documentation that you can actually sign with them to like say like you want to play Activision titles, Blizzard titles, and stuff like that. You just sign a piece of paper saying I want to create content for you guys, and can you guys not freaking sue me or anything like that?
and they're never going to do that.
Right, they're gonna want money if it comes to that.
Yeah, they're never going to do that. They need to protect themselves from Lyle. So, I mean, they're going to be like, no, we have the full right to come after you. But they do, California is one of the few states that doesn't limit liability. So, you actually can go after them, and even though they have civil action in their Theos and in their licensing agreements, California actually says that they can't do that in their state. So in California, and like I said, you definitely need to talk to a lawyer there. But my understanding of the law is that in California, you basically have more protection there as a gamer. You don't have to go into consultation to try to rectify it. In California, you can
Good to know.
straight to court under civil law.
Oh well, at least California's good for one thing.
I just need to allow that, but the Supreme Court
I agree
disagrees
from a civil
in
perspective.
most states, so it is what it is.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
That is.
My speech was from a position of upset, anger.
Yeah, and that's a good place to speak from. Just so you know.
No, it's not.
You border on the line of slander when you do that. And
Right, and I get that. there's just it's really frustrating that they like that he. I'm rambling now, but I don't.
So one thing. So what about gaming developers and their position with like clans like FaZe? What's their position with that? Like, can they come down on FaZe at any moment for anything at all?
They could, but they have a working relationship with them.
Okay.
And most of the time, they have a contract with the gaming companies.
All right. So like FaZe, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, all those guys, like they have like contracts with like Blizzard.
Yeah,
and all of them.
they most of the time they have a binding contract between them. So
okay. So
they're not going to come down on them, and they could not because they have a different contract than what you would have, and they have a different license agreement than what you have.
Gotcha.
So they have a lot more protection.
Huh.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay, wow.
That
I just learned a lot in 1 hour than I ever did in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I can help. I was actually enjoying your stream, but you were dictating law in a very...
You're right. And it was me that was doing it. I'm not even going to say it was Saber. I'm dictating law from a position of ignorance, not a position of knowledge.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys afforded me the opportunity to come up and kind of direct you in the right direction.
Yeah,
we thank you.
It's an open discussion, dude. Like I love I love talking with you guys in the chat, and when somebody like you comes in and kind of like really puts us in our place and like tells us like how it really is. It's it's like you said, it's very humbling. So
very interesting too.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to go back and read some case studies on it.
Yeah, and it's a tough read. I'm just gonna tell you. I've spent a long time in my career reading them, and even with all my years of experience, I still get it wrong sometimes. So
yeah, I believe I've read a bunch of books when I was younger. Mother works for a lawyer, so I got into his library, so I understand.
But I think you guys are doing a smart thing. I mean, you're discussing it and you're trying to get awareness about it, and that's the first step I think that most creators need to do is make their viewers aware that there's this gap here that needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
and because right now the trust is all on the gaming company's end. There is no streamers are out on a ledge, and it just takes a little breeze and they're off. And most streamers don't think that they can be pushed off, and they all can, especially whenever they're dealing with gaming companies or using other people's art, broadcasts, stuff like that. And they're all sitting on that ledge unless they own 100% of what is in your videos, which you have to own 100%. It's not yours.
So, question: when it comes to a streamer like I don't know specific examples, but I've seen plenty of partnered streamers. For example, Pay Money Webby. He streams TV shows with his audience. Like they watched Survivor or like a season of Survivor. Okay, that was my understanding as well. Like I think that's bullshit.
That's original.
If they're in the United States, the FBI can pay them a visit and have that. I mean, YouTube was in that position 8 years ago, and what changed the way YouTube did stuff and really made them change their algorithms and their AI was that everybody was putting every content underneath the sun. And what was really messed up, it wasn't just regular people doing it. The companies that actually owned all the properties were doing it too, and then suing themselves. There was lots of cases where they end up suing themselves and not realizing they were suing themselves.
Damn.
But they were trying to actually force YouTube to take down all of their properties, or at least pay them for them. And that's what forced YouTube to go, yeah, we got to do something about this. And that's why when you upload something, there's a chance that it will get shot down immediately because of the copyright laws, and the AI is trying to follow those.
I do.
That's interesting.
So,
I was
okay,
saying,
there's one game. So there's one game I have I have a question about though. That the game exists solely based off of the fact that has used assets from different games, and that's Gmod, Gary's mod. So what?
Although they use different assets from different games, my understanding of Gary's mod is they still license each part out. So it's still their assets because they're licensing them.
Interesting.
So they're not breaking any copyright laws because they're actually licensing all those parts out. There are people that do it illegally, but most of the companies aren't going after them. But I could see very easily if they did it without permission, they could.
Content creation of video games is the biggest legal activity in the United States.
Yep. Yep. And most people don't realize that what they're doing.
then how does Twitch
my
as a
gosh.
company work then?
Would you say sorry?
No, it's actually quite no. Because now I'm questioning how Twitch as a business model work if the company.
Because Twitch is
Twitch is a host.
Yeah, pretty much. And you're broadcasting it. They're not. They're hosting it. And
Okay.
Twitch could, I mean, the gaming companies could all come after Twitch and really shut Twitch down. But they're owned by Amazon now, so that's probably not going to happen.
I was gonna say I don't think that even EA has Amazon money to fight with. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So-
that's Amazon right there.
But they could shut down Twitch easily if they wanted to. But right now they make money because people come here, watch a game, and that's fun, I'm gonna go buy it. So they're making money from Twitch doing it. So it's kind of we'll just ignore it for now. When it becomes a problem, then we'll come after them. But they have come after Twitch several times, which is why they're very strict with their terms of service, and they will shut down streamers if they do nudity, stuff like that. And that's all based from gaming companies who are like, we don't want that stuff in our videos, in our games. We don't want that stuff portrayed next to our games. So that's why Twitch has those in their terms of services.
Damn.
Is because they're like, we'll let you do this, but we want this in place. And if you don't, we'll just shut you down. And Twitch is like, okay, we'll do it. It would be my guess is what happened.
Okay.
So
That is.
yeah,
Huh.
people look at it from a very one-sided point of view, and my job is I have to look at it from multiple points of view in order to argue a case. And sometimes I end up on the side of a company who is having their product stolen from them, and I have to actually go after people and streamers who are actually doing that. But I also end up on the side where I'm trying to keep a streamer or YouTuber from freaking going bankrupt. So I end up on both
question
sides,
for you.
so I can see it from both sides.
Okay.
Question for you without naming names. Have you ever had to defend a legal company or assist a video game company in suing a streamer that you watch?
I had to sign NDA, so I have to decline.
Okay,
Yeah, no
okay,
problem.
okay. No, and I understand.
So, so a friend of mine in the chat just also asked. He didn't ask. He stated, I want to know if it's true or not. Rockstar used to be like this with all their games for the longest time. You couldn't do Bully or GTA 4 videos. GTA 5 was the first one that content creators could really utilize. I'm not aware of anything that Rockstar used to be protective of their titles in terms of copyrights. Then again,
Actually, GTA and Rockstar actually were very protective over their content up until GT 5.
really,
Interesting.
Very, very much so. And they actually sued a lot of people for a lot of things, but they were also sued constantly too. So,
damn. Well, that's
Wow.
new information to me. Dear God, just. Whew.
Just
Oh.
one bubble burst and another bubble burst, and then the whole bubble just comes.
You know, it's not like things are crashing down on me. It just gives me a better realization of like what I should be doing better on my or what I should be doing to protect myself in terms of my content. I
Yes.
don't, and quite honestly, it's starting to sound like more and more that the safer route is to be making YouTube videos where you have more control of what your content is outputting than just doing live streams.
Yeah, it actually is. It's a lot safer, and you have a lot more protection. When you're just constantly streaming a game, they can argue that they went to the bathroom and there's this 10-minute gap where there's nothing going on. That's not commentary. That's not transformation. Why are we allowing them to do this? And they can sue you for use of that. And they can determine the value of that license for that time period. You don't get to decide that.
Damn.
10 minutes.
Wild.
Have I don't know.
And
Have
they
you ever
can
watched?
say that 10 minutes is worth $2 million if
Wow.
they want. I mean, they can put the number on it. The judge can say, "Yeah, I don't think it's worth that," or the judge can be like, "Well," which is most of the time they're like they go with what they think it's worth. So,
Jeez.
Have you ever watched a Russian Badger video on YouTube? I don't know if you
no,
ever did.
I haven't.
His is all commentary on games, so I was always curious on why he does it that way. But now it makes a lot of sense because he just commentates on the game. He doesn't. Because how he breaks it down, it's all like
Yeah.
how the game works and how different things.
And he probably has. He's probably talked to lawyers and gotten a sense of what he had to do to protect himself from being sued.
Probably.
Okay.
Hell, that's probably what Moydog did, honestly. The guy makes tutorial videos for Squad.
So I mean, the biggest thing is, the copyright law is very, very complex. So, in order for me to give you a good understanding what you can and can't do, it can take up to 3 to 4 days of discussion just to protect you when you're actually streaming. It can be boiled down into like a 5-minute video, which is what the attention span of most people are. So,
I've already lost you. I'm sorry.
yeah, exactly.
This has become a more entertaining conversation from what we started out with because now
Yeah.
I'm more intrigued and want to learn. So
Yeah, seriously. I am definitely going to learn. Especially my risk of being in Nevada alone.
Okay, listen here, guys. I already have my pitchfork and torch right outside my door. I was ready, and you guys have to shut this down. Come on.
we're gonna go straight to Google and tell them what the fuck.
And your biggest weapon is social media at this point. It really is. And it's something that you should utilize. And trying to get people to talk about these limitations is a discussion that I think needs to happen with more people and more streamers. So that the knowledge gets out there and you guys can start pushing back. But
That's
you
interesting.
have a very narrow line and you have to slowly do it over time. So you'd have to do it in a very specific way to be able to push back. But it's something that I think that needs to eventually happen is that streamers need to get together and be like, yeah, we need some kind of protection here for us. Because right now, it's all in their court.
Damn.
And
Nice.
the second you pay for it, you give them all the power. So
Well, and that's the thing. I won't surrender my power. Which is very funny to say, being that I live in California and I have no power over anything in my life. But like I'm in the position that I don't think it's worth surrendering. Like if it comes to that, where a game developer is going to ask me to pay a license, it's not a money thing for me. It's not a monetary thing to pay the license or not pay the license. It's it's principle. The fact of the matter is I don't think game developers should have that level of power over the consumer.
I wonder if we're
well,
also.
the thing is they at that point when you get that broadcast, they will have very stringent rules in place that you can and can't do, what you can say about their stuff, what you can't.
And that's the thing. Like, if a game developer ever approached me to say, "Hey, I'll give you $3,000 to say good things about my game on your stream," I'm going to say no on principle. That I don't believe that I should ever lie to make $1.
And the thing
regarding
is, a lot of people say that until that $3,000 is in their hand.
So
And
I'm in a financial.
I have gotten a lot of people who've come to me after the fact, and they've tried to remove a video that they put up, and well, they signed a contract, and when they tried to take it down, they couldn't take it down because they didn't own the video, and the company that they did that for owned it. And my response was, "You took the money."
Well, no, and you're absolutely right. There are many people that say on principle that they're right. $3,000 is a good chunk of change to a lot of people to play a video game for 4 hours. Like that's that's definitely worth noting. That a lot of people money does stand in front of their principles. For me, that's just not worth it. Like my principles matter, and I don't.
Has there so
and that's something rare in the streaming community, especially on I'm on Twitch quite a bit, and money is what almost every Twitch streamer is all about. It's sub to me, bits constantly. It may not be from the gaming company. They want the streamers to give the money, which to me, I'm looking at them going, when they hit a certain level, a gaming company is going to come in and go, "Oh yeah, we'll match whatever they give you. Just lie to them," and most people will do it.
right?
I mean, it's just how it is.
My question. So I have a question actually. Has there ever been any talks about content creators in general creating kind of like a union, like an act, like how the actors have the actors guilds, or like any type of like content creators guild or anything like?
Germany tried to do one. There was a YouTuber. What was his name? Is a sling. He did a sling. He did. His channel did slingshots or something. He's trying to get one going on YouTube. Thing is YouTube pretty much has been blowing them off nonstop, but they're getting a lot of support from YouTubers, and YouTube's just like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. They're trying, it's just not working because
Early stages of a union, they don't have power. You're right.
Yeah.
And the thing is they're not striking either.
Also,
they're not all working together with.
Well, that's another thing. Like if we're going to say, oh, we want this power, we'd have to be willing to just completely stop making content until that power is given.
Well, not only stop making content, you also have to stop purchasing the software. You got to stop buying the games.
Yeah, and like that
You
like
stop buying
that's
all the action figures and everything that goes along with it.
Hey, I don't want you to call me out for buying action figures ever again. That is a personal hobby.
Hey, I have no problem with that, but whenever you're talking about
it's a Funko
exchange, that's you hit them in their pocketbook, they respond quickly.
So
and I'm a firm believer in that. The pocketbook is the most effective way to get someone to listen.
I used to play games. I don't play games anymore. I used to watch people play games. I don't do that anymore. Now when I come on Twitch, I go into channels like this that are doing people talking and chit chatting. And yeah, sometimes it's about what's going on in the gaming community or whatever. But I stopped because I didn't like the system that's in place right now. I didn't like the way gaming companies were releasing broken game after broken game after broken game.
was the same strategy. They release basically a beta version of their game, and then they'll finish it through the year until the next title is ready to be released.
I think the game that really ticked me off, and I actually filed suit and actually got my money back for it, was No Man's Sky. That was it for me. Whenever I bought that and saw what they did, I was done. I'm like, that's it. But then now everybody's like, oh, it's a great game now.
But it shouldn't have been a great game now. It should have been a great game at launch.
Like 2-3 years later, something like that.
I'm like, yeah, it's been 4 years, 4 or 5 years now, I think. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine now.
Great
but
foreskin.
how many
Thank you
people did they
very much
rip
for
off
the
that
follow.
no longer even have any interest in the game, that aren't even playing it, that they took the money from? That's my biggest thing. Is so you're trying to hype up this company that scammed millions of people. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right now because they kind of did it 4 years later. Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, yeah, that and I've talked about that before. That I like where we went from gaming back in like where I call the golden age of Call of Duty, where you had from Call of Duty Modern Warfare up to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 to up to now, where game dev companies, what they do now is they release a beta title of game and then keep it in beta so they can keep continuously adding content to it, and then you end up spending 5 times more than what you actually spent on the original purchases of the game. Like, to me, Modern Warfare should not have been sold as a $60 game. That game was broken, bugged from the get-go, and needed to it wasn't even completed yet because they're continuously adding content as it goes down the road, and they have a roadmap for this type of stuff. They know what they're going to release. They know what type of content that they're going to add to the game.
Well, and they also know the state it's going to be in when they release it too.
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't care because they're like, people will give us money, just release it.
Yeah.
We'll fix it eventually.
And
then we'll
I have a firm belief in the
release the next one.
well, and that's an issue, and I have a firm belief in shareholders being the big issue there.
I don't think it's shareholders. I think it's the consumers themselves are the blame. They allow it to happen, and they keep rewarding companies for doing it.
Yeah.
If they stop
you're
buying,
right.
stop allowing the cycle to keep continuing, and when a company does it, don't buy any more of their games, and convince everybody around you not to do it, they will stop doing it. I keep telling everybody, you want the gaming industry to change, stop buying games. It needs to crash before any change is going to happen. That's it.
And
Do
the
you think
unfortunate
that will
thing,
ever happen in our lifetime?
God no, it's not going to
It's
ever
happened
happen.
4 times. It's happened 4 times since the gaming industry started. It's going to happen again.
Well,
Atari's ET is often credited to destroying the video game industry for a very long time.
Yes.
the way I look at it is that the video game market
I
from
was
where
practicing
it's
when that happened, so
so
Oh,
like
wow.
from the video game market from where it started, where where the video game market started, where it was kind of like a very niche group of people, and it was a controlled market, and now you're in this market now where the market is completely all over the place, and it's gonna like you're not gonna be able to convince the parents of freaking Jimmy to not buy the next freaking Call of Duty for him because that's what Jimmy wants, and they're gonna get what Jimmy freaking wants.
right, and that's why they're able to get away with it.
Go ahead.
It's really going to come down to the adults going, these companies are targeting our kids. These companies are doing some very unscrupulous things, and we need to put a stop to it.
Isn't that the exact case I was thrown against EA over Battlefront 2?
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, but that was the legit. That was the exact case I was throwing to EA, that they knew
With
that with
It
gambling.
was regarding gambling, but
But that's lost traction. They've just waited it out.
Yeah.
It's not making any foot ground. I mean, they did the smart thing. They've waited it out. A couple of countries hit them, and they can't sell them there anymore, and they're just like, whatever.
I think as more gamers become parents, like as gaming becomes more prevalent in parents' lives, that's when it will change. Like
but by that point, most people have become accustomed. It's the frog in warm water. They've slowly turned the heat up. By the time they become parents, they just assume that's the way it is, and
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
and they give up. They're like, well, if I like the game, I just have to deal with it. And that's how most people are. You want change, you have to go, yeah, I'm done. And that's what I did is I'm like, I'm done. They get no more money from me.
So is No Man's Sky the actual last video game you purchased?
Yes.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn. No Man's Sky did that to this man.
Well, it did it to a lot of people. He's not alone. No
No
Man's
Man's
Sky,
Sky.
What they did was fraud.
it
What
was
they did
absolutely.
was illegal.
I stand with that statement there. It was fraudulent. They promised so much and underdelivered. I don't pre-order games. I speak with my pocketbook in that regard. I don't have the willpower. Gaming is my only refuse in life. Like this
I
is
love
my
wrong. I still play
hobby.
games because I do own. I have a Steam account and I have games that I had purchased before No Man's Sky,
Right.
and I still play them.
Well,
But I own them right now.
will you play?
Well,
Will you play
I'm
games
leasing
when someone else
them.
bought them for you?
According to Steam, I lease them. I don't own them.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of games that I have unleased from Steam that I haven't I haven't missed any new games that have come out. I haven't looked at any and gone, oh man, I'm missing crap. I still play like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag,
We're not gonna do that to me,
Dragon's
holy.
Dogma, Resident Evil. Do play some Call of Duty here and there, but it's nothing new.
Well, Call of Duty's nothing new. You can play Call of Duty Cold War or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and you're playing the same fucking game. So,
Yeah.
It's
no, I think that's you've got more willpower than I do in that regard.
absolutely
'cause,
same with
Well,
me.
I took a look at what happened, and I'm like, I can't allow a company to do that. And if I keep buying, I'm just feeding into the system, and I'm allowing another company to do it. And EA still does that. I mean, it hasn't gotten as bad as No Man's Sky since that because the backlash was so huge. Most companies are like, yeah, maybe we can't do that. But
non-finished game.
but it was enough for me to go until I see a game that's released complete, no bugs. I'm not buying. That's just where I'm at.
I mean, games did that for decades, and
Yeah. It's not a new concept. It happened all through the 80s, 90s, and even up till 2010 when the market had crashed and the game company were trying to recover. They decided, oh, we'll just start piecing everything out.
Yeah.
And that was the end when that crash happened.
The prevalence of online gaming with PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, I feel, really hurt the gaming economy in that regard because game developers, greedy game devs, a fucking Bethesda with horse armor, $5 for a physical cosmetic, like that was, in my opinion, that's the downfall, the start of the decline,
And they made a lot of money from that.
and it's so fucking ridiculous to me.
And the thing is that there was mods that were out that were way better than that, and people were just buying it. I'm like, oh, people are dumb.
Well, and that goes on to another point that I could expand for hours and hours on. People are idiots. I'm an idiot. A lot of people I know are idiots.
People fall on a bell curve, and the majority of the people are either in the middle, which they're not very informed, they're very ignorant of what's going on, and they just go along with everything because that's what everybody else is doing, or they're really dumb. There's not, and the really smart usually aren't in the gaming industry anyways because they're just like, yeah, I'm good. So
You said really dumb, and you just described me, sir.
I don't think it's dumb.
I can't give up the games.
I was listening to what you were saying, and if I thought you were dumb, I actually would have been out of your stream in like 3 seconds. I probably was in like 9 or 10 streams before I came into here, and the last couple of months it's been, I got to wade through like 100 people since COVID that are all just idiots. I'm like, oh.
Well, thank you for realizing that we are not complete
thought what you
idiots.
said, what you guys were talking about, was an important topic, and it is a very important topic.
And I didn't realize how important it was and how like the lack of protection there is for content creators out there, especially the market that it is in. It's a market that, first of all, video games alone is a market that makes more money than the movie industry now. And with the amount of content creators out there, I mean, you can almost rival that. There's, that content creators are more influential now than TV stars. Like, more people are going to talk about PewDiePie than they're going to talk about freaking the guy from NCIS. They're not going.
I wouldn't say more people. If you ask a lot of people who PewDiePie is, they don't know.
Yeah, well, if you ask people who PewDiePie is, they'll be like, he's a YouTuber. They know who he is, they just don't know who he is. They may not know his content or anything like that, but most people know that he's a YouTuber.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's done the work. He's put in the time. He's very smart with his channel. He does some dumb things here and there, but he's smart for the most part.
PUBG on the bridge.
Yep.
What?
That's when he said the N-word.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
he took a risk. I mean, and it didn't pay off for him that time. He
he took a risk.
Watch his content, you see that. And I haven't watched PewDiePie in probably 8 years, 9 years.
I've never seen a video.
I've seen videos, but I've been around for a long time, so. And YouTube, it was new. I was getting a lot of questions about it. So yeah, I looked at one of the biggest content creators and was looking at what was going on there. And he's very smart about his content. He talks to his lawyers. He understands what he can and can't do. And he has a lot of influence on YouTube. With YouTube, he has a lot of influence. That's why he gets away with so much. So
sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I was saying the best advice is just talk to a lawyer.
Yeah, talk to him, listen to him, and try to educate yourself on what you're doing. Because, I mean, what you're doing can have ramifications that can affect your and help the rest of your life. So my biggest suggestion is go find legal counsel and find out what you can and can't do, because and you're going to find out you can't do a lot. Trust me, you're going to be like, oh, wow, okay.
I knew there had to be some type of catch to this kind of like free market of content creation where you can just start making videos and upload them for free to a public website and then have the revenue coming in for you.
Well, a lot of people don't realize the second you upload it to YouTube, it's not your content anymore. It's actually owned by YouTube.
Right.
Which is why
that's why YouTube's able to take it. That's why YouTube's able to take a video down if they wanted to, because it violates some type of copyright claim or something like that. They don't ask you; they'll just do it for you.
Yep, because it's their platform. They can do what they want because you're just a guest, and they can go bye anytime. Just same as Twitch. Twitch can do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So.
The market in general, like I've always been curious about it, especially in terms of like how the taxes for revenue work, especially for like sponsorship deals and everything like that. It's a interesting market.
You look at like somebody like Ninja, who he stepped away from Twitch,
right? And
he signed an exclusive deal, which gave him a lot more protection as a streamer than any other normal person. Your stream just started buffing.
Yeah, I see that.
He has a lot more protection than a normal person, but it's because he's a product that they're trying to get.
No, he created a brand for himself. He's the first, he's the first indie content creator that has gone and created a brand, of himself. That was the smartest thing he could have done, is that he created a brand.
He talked to his lawyers and realized that he can talk to Twitch and get a different terms of service, which allowed him a lot more freedom to do more things than you are allowed to do.
Right.
And a lot of streamers have tried that, and yeah, sometimes they can. But I mean, have you ever wonder why all this streamers has been nude a couple of times and they didn't get kicked off? Well, it's because they probably have a different terms of service.
Well, they're partnered. That's the basic
Partnered,
factor.
I mean, you can be partnered and still get kicked off.
Well, you
But-
can. It's happened.
You
Dark
can get
disrespect.
partnered, and you can go in and renegotiate your partnership when you, like Ninja, can renegotiate his contract with them, and he has a contract.
Yeah.
And he sets the terms, and they set the terms, and then he has to follow it. It's not the same terms that you have to abide by. He has a lot more freedom. He also has more access to staff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he also has like, you know, he has brand deals and everything like that. He has what Twitch recognizes as value, even though his actual viewer base doesn't bring as much as say somebody like freaking Shroud or Tim the Tapman nowadays. He still brings in an audience base that Twitch wants, and also brings in a brand deal that Twitch can associate with.
right, and that's why they still pay him the most.
I mean,
And,
and for me, like at least for me,
And that's
and
the business aspect of it. And I'm not an expert on that end of it, but it's a very smart move, and he protected himself every step of the way. Every time he could change the rules to benefit him, he went for it. And that's something that a lot of content creators don't do. They don't think about that. They're only interested in that short-term gain. He was thinking long-term. He was very smart about it.
yeah, absolutely,
Not my cup of tea for streamer,
right.
but I will say he was very intelligent on every step that he took in his path.
He's very smart, but like you said, not a streamer that I don't think I've ever actually watched his stream. I've seen clips of his stream uploaded on.
I didn't even watch.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I
I've
didn't.
seen clips of his stream. I've never sat in his stream.
I didn't even watch his stream when he played with Drake and all of them. I didn't watch it, but like he is a part of inspiration of what I try to do, what I started to do, you know, with this with Graveyard Crew and everything like that. It's like I'm more focused on creating a brand than actually, like, you know, kind of like building a career in streaming, because like streaming can come and go. I'm more interested in making a brand like FaZe or something like that, because that's where the long-term success starts to come in, is when you have a brand associated, because people will want to associate to that brand more than they will associate to you.
That's true.
I want a kid to buy a shirt with my face on it in a Walmart.
That's your main goal in life. Nice.
If realistically, I could just go throw some shirts with my face on them on the shelf at Walmart. I'm sure someone will try and ring it up. The Walmart associate, well, there's no tag. Let's just ring it up. All shirts are $4.99 or whatever.
I want the Super Trooper shirt.
Oh, you motherfucker! I don't look like Farbo.
Yeah. I rather just learn.
No, realistically, for me right now, Twitch is purely fun. I donate the money that I earn from Twitch. All of my revenue goes to charity. This is a thing of fun for me. My long-term goal is the same as Sabers. I want
May I
to
ask what charity?
say again.
May I ask what charity?
Child's Play.
Oh, okay.
If you're unfamiliar with Child's Play, they
I'm familiar. Yeah.
this is more towards the people watching. Child's Play
Fine.
is a charity that I firmly believe in. They help children that are facing long-term medical conditions where they're going to be in hospitals for the majority of their childhood, or will live and die in a hospital, unfortunately, and they bring the joy of gaming and toys and games to kids and provide hospitals with the ability and access to have a rolling cart with a Nintendo Switch.
They also bring doctors in. My girlfriend works with them. So.
Oh, that's awesome. No, okay, so then
Yeah, I know.
you definitely might know a little bit about Child's Play. But Child's Play is
That's
my
organization.
they're a fantastic organization, and I believe firmly in what they do.
And yeah, they are a great organization. Myself, whenever I donate, it's usually the St. Jude's. But definitely a worthy organization there. So that's all I'm going to say on that, because I don't like slander. So
No, and I do realize I came in real hot. I was
oh yeah, no worries, man. Once I realized you were willing to talk and discuss it and actually listen to a logical argument, I was like, okay, I'll jump up in the chat.
Well, no, and that's
That means a
my
lot.
thing is I may seem like a hothead dumbass, which I am, but I'm a hothead dumbass who's willing to accept that I'm wrong a lot of the time.
I think we all are wrong a lot of the time. It's nice that you can admit it, and that's what I actually like. That's why I was like, yeah, I'll come up and form my argument for you and explain to you why the laws are the way they are.
Yeah, it made more sense than when you were typing it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, typing it, you can't formulate. We have these limitations on. You can only type 500 characters.
You're also typing 500 characters a minute behind where we're talking, so you're saying something that's like
Is it a minute?
not.
Usually,
No,
about
I'm just
30 to
saying,
40
like,
seconds
it-
behind.
Yeah,
which was funny because all three of us were looking at the chat, waiting for you what you were to say. Because at that point, we were already curious.
Yeah.
We are just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah,
What's
because it went from us like we don't think that we like I went from like thinking this is some like teenager who thinks he knows everything to you started dropping really interesting points and really actual like real points of like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, and I would love to talk to him more about that because I need to know more about this.
well,
I mean,
and
like I said, I've had a lot of time arguing copyright in court, so you understand the laws a lot better, and it's my specialty. So I can come in and kind of swing my dick a little bit and be like, yeah, these are the laws, guys. You can't get around them. You may not like them, but they're the laws.
Man, fuck
you came
the
in
law.
here. You came in here like, all right, you motherfuckers. This is where you're all wrong. And
Slap
here's
his,
how.
I wasn't
slap
trying
your
to
dick on the table and go, listen here,
No,
motherfucker.
not saying it in a bad way. It was just more of a.
I came in and I was like, that's not kind of how it works. And you guys, and I don't know the guy in the hats.
Pooter.
What's hat's name?
Which hat?
Which one?
Black and
The
blue.
gray hat. He has it on backwards.
Pooter.
That's Pooter.
Peter.
Oh, okay,
Mike, Pooter, dumbass, whatever you want to call me. Honestly, I respond to most things.
The fact that you got worked up, I'm like, oh god, this is gonna turn into one of those fights. And
No.
the mood to fight. I'm like, I was like, I'll just state the case very calmly and try not to get worked up because I saw you were, and I was just stating the facts. And
No,
hopefully
you definitely were.
the facts. But I was in a stream earlier today, and a guy was talking about copyright law, and the dude was just talking out his butt. He didn't know anything about it. And he was actually he's actually from the state that I practice in. And I'm like, look, I'll represent you because he was having trouble with his YouTube channel. And he was saying that he was going to sue them and stuff like that. And I was like, you can't sue them. They have every right to do what they're doing. But there are things that we can do to help you get it back. And then he just started like insulting me and this and that. And then
Why?
because I said, that's not the way to do it. And he said, oh, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I can give you my credentials and you can look me up and blah, blah. He's like, oh, you're just some random Twitch streamer and viewer. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm random. So are you. You have 3 people in here watching and you're acting like you're a god. And then he started trying to dox me. He actively looked, even though I offered this stuff up to him, he started trying to look through my history on Twitch and stuff like that. And I was like, well, that's where you just messed up, dude. I was like, that's against terms of service for Twitch. I was like, have you read the terms of service? And he's like,
It's amazing how many people haven't.
he's like, he goes, I know what it says. And I was like, no, you don't, because you just lost your channel. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he started calling me names and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I just reported you. You have a good night. I'm out. And then he started messaging me, threatening me and stuff like that. And his channel his page now says that he's been terminated for breach of terms of service.
Nice.
Good.
Oh,
No,
my.
and I'm all
That
for
is
it.
great.
I wish that.
People don't realize that the terms of services says you must act responsibly all the time. You cannot be insulting the viewers. You cannot be threatening people. You absolutely cannot try to dox somebody on your channel. You cannot. If you attempt to do that while you're streaming,
Wait, I can't insult my viewers?
no, you
Man.
cannot. No,
No,
that's
I-
against terms of services. Yes, that's absolutely against terms of services.
I need to reread the TOS. I don't insult them in a way to be like, oh, you're like, I guess it's all
If you're
comedy
playing
for me.
and you're joking, they do allow leeway for that. But if you are sitting there calling, you started saying that I'm a dumb fuck and blah 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 and I'm a piece of shit while I was trying to explain that stuff to you,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I could report you and your channel can be taken down.
Wow. I mean,
well-
I don't blame it. It's a private business. They can do what they want.
Well,
Yeah.
Saber, now for me to hold back my report from you
Freedom of
now.
speech. A lot of people think that freedom of speech extends to Twitch and YouTube and Twitter, and no, it doesn't. These are private corporations, and they control access. They can tell you cannot say this, that, or another. They are full within their rights, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, to a certain extent, you can try to make it public, and that can sway them a little. But they can tell everybody that, yeah, whatever, we don't care. They can do that, and there's nothing you can do. Yeah, you might want to reconsider calling them that. But if it's in a joking manner, you're allowed to do that. By the way,
Luckily that he's my
definitely
freaking height.
read your
He's my
terms of services. If somebody comes in your stream and you're like, oh, who is this piece of crap and blah blah blah, and you start clicking on their all their links in their channel, and like you go and look at their YouTube channel and you start following the links on there and you're trying to like show people all, dude, that's against terms of services. You are doxing that person. That will get you terminated instantly.
Damn.
All they have to do is report and you're done.
Hey, Saber, I have a
Yeah.
question for you real quick.
What's up?
We're doing our podcast. Are you still going to abide by the silent saber?
Yeah.
No, I think that the terms of service needs to be well understood, and I'll be the first to admit I read it. I'm not a lawyer. I don't fully understand everything that I read. I understand.
And everything in it, and now I'm a lawyer, so.
I didn't read it, but I understood like everything else. Don't do stupid shit. So I was like, okay.
If you're not willing to, I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I not only read it, I also consulted a lawyer about it too, and I was like, yeah, fine. All I do is sit there and watch people most of the time, anyways, and accepted the terms of service. But yeah, who was it? Macam? Is that who
Macium.
said it? Macium. Okay, sorry. Who said that? Yeah, everything is against terms of services. It's absolutely correct. They decide at any point what's against terms of services, and they have a right to change it at a moment's notice. So
No, that's true, and that's crazy to me. Like, this extends more so to companies like Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Like, I don't
this
necessarily.
falls back into the power isn't on the consumer's end. It's really on all these companies' ends, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize. They think everybody thinks they have power, and we really don't. We're just consumers. We're a number to them, and the second we step into an area that they don't agree with, you're done. They can terminate my account for coming up here and talking to you guys about this, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm a lawyer.
That's insane. I mean,
Big oof.
from a perspective of me being the stupid ignorant Twitch streamer that I am.
I will know how to go about trying to fix it, but they can absolutely block me every point of the way, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, he has a push-up thing on his stream
I
too.
forget to turn off my channel.
so-
I forget to turn off my channel point string streams, and my wife's asleep too.
Well, okay. Well, he can go do some more.
Oh, okay. I got you.
There you go. You can do some more.
You have to do 30, my friend.
So much.
See, mine I have to do squats.
Mine, I don't have points, so.
No, I think it's great that you guys are trying to understand what's going on and trying to figure out where you're falling into this. And unfortunately, you're on the bad side of this.
Well,
Man,
The good news is you're not totally screwed because these companies aren't going to do something that's going to negatively impact their bottom line. So you do have a little bit of protection. It's not a lot, but you do. The odds are you're going to be fine because there's enough people that are out here. Just
You
talk to
suck.
other streamers. Make sure that you have a network going, so if something happens, you can get your voice heard. That's what I always tell everybody. I mean, because that's the only way you're going to infect. If something happens, that's the only way you're going to get them to actually go, maybe we should back off a little.
okay.
So the bigger your network, the more say you have. So talk to more streamers, talk to YouTubers, make sure that you're communicating with them, and that allows you some form of protection in the long run.
Okay.
Getting a lawyer is not going to protect you in this circus that you're in. It's not on your side. But you know enough streamers, you talk to enough people, you can have some kind of protection. And that's where it lies in numbers. So the more people you get out there and talk to, the more cushion you have to play in.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, just remember that. I mean, you don't have a lot except for other streamers. If you guys stick together, you will be fine.
Peter, you and me together, buddy.
hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Now we
Now,
need to drop the com and then that music to play.
Say again.
My old friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I know
I have
that's
that.
T-
I actually
that's
have that on
TOS.
my soundboard.
Nope.
That is goes against
TOS. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, Josh.
Yep. Do the tier. You got to get the tier going too.
Well, I do say though, we have reached to our hour and 55 minute.
Oh,
I-
nice.
Damn.
So this episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Lego Star Wars Boba Fett helmet. It's a statue. I'm going to be building it while we resume the podcast.
This empty bottle of Patron that I bought. Did I just hit my
Was it-
dog?
Was it empty?
And,
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't empty before.
Puni or Puni, Poopy. If you, I don't know if you noticed my Deadpool bust. It does more than.
Yeah, I checked it out like 3 times. Yeah, I noticed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Thanks for pushing my buttons. You really know how to turn me on.
Sexy.
This is just a placeholder until we hopefully get a new.
Oh, I love the eyes. That's freaking amazing.
That
Yeah.
sent me back a good $90, but well worth it. To me.
You have to send me the link of where you got that. I want that now.
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Oh, Best Buy?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to have to go get that.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But just so you're not, since we don't really have a sponsor, we just grab random shit in our room and just say this is our sponsor today.
We're not actually sponsored by
My
these products.
sponsor is my cat, I guess.
Oh, nice. What kind of cat?
Well, I have 3 because my girlfriend keeps giving them to me. I have a black cat and 2 gray and white cats. So
Nice.
brought to you by Black Cat because
Brought to you by Black Cat.
He has to pick the
Black
bad. He has to pick the bad luck one. All right, cool.
Wow.
Last week we were brought to you by Zoloft. When you're feeling down, take one down. Zoloft.
and pass it around.
Yeah. So, which is which is great because today's podcast. I don't know how long you guys want to go for, but it's 12, almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
3
And-
o'clock.
I'm
3 o'clock for you, sir. I'm getting tired.
I mean, I'm
I
honestly
had a-
this turned out this turned out to be a great topic piece tonight, and honestly, a very eye-opening kind of like of how in control game devs are in terms of just the market in general. Like, literally, content creators may feel like they're on top of this throne, but like content creators feel like they're here, but game devs are like all the way up there.
Yeah. And honestly, the amount of information I just got on me, I'm still processing. Like, it's a lot of info I just learned.
I'm very happy that you
Oh,
joined in on the
I'm
It's
excited.
in the right direction.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah, we
it's-
have a much better understanding, and it's gonna definitely change the direction of how we take me, at least me as a streamer, and in terms of where we take the brand in the direction that we want to take it with.
I just found it hilarious. A quick like 2-minute segment where we were just gonna be pissed off at this one dude turned into a very informative podcast about copyright law. And just
I don't know about you guys, but fuck this guy.
Sorry for ruining your stream, I guess.
Wait, what'd you say?
Sorry for ruining the stream.
no, you. This was more than welcome when we were talking.
That,
what we're gonna
we're
talk about
very,
today.
very happy about
Yeah.
what you came on and talked about.
Yeah, you made it more informative for us to learn about something than what we were just going to talk about, whatever the heck our topics were for the night.
Or your
right.
other topics. 'Cause that might be like,
we were actually going to talk about kind of like the downfall of Bethesda with Fallout titles and stuff like that also.
oh, I missed that. Darn it. Next, are you gonna
You
do
didn't
it?
even
This is a
Every
weekly,
Thursday.
this is a weekly
Fun?
podcast.
I'll definitely be here.
All right,
that's
awesome.
right.
every Thursday night.
We're trying to do it every Thursday. I'm going to hope next time we do it at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard, not 11.
Oh,
But-
they want to keep it going.
Oh,
I mean,
know.
I'm happy to keep it going. I'm not tired. I drink coffee and
All right.
I-
Well, if we're going to keep it going, I need to get some caffeine in me then.